Howdy! Is Honkai Star Rail difficult for beginners? Let me tell you how to level up most easily, what the ideal party should look like, how to deal maximum damage, and much more. Subscribe, like, and if it's not too much trouble, add anything I forgot to mention in the comments. Let's start with the basics. If you don't get a cool high-level character on your first try, and your novice tickets have run out, recreate your account. The link is in the description. It's better to worry about this point than to play with whatever the system randomly throws at you. And most importantly, trust your inner waifu meter. Let's face it, even if a character is useless but beautiful, they're still going to be in your party. Beauty comes with sacrifice, and we all agree on that. So keep creating accounts until you get the waifu you want. And only then start using our tips. Interested in how to survive in battle? Ideally, you should have 2 supporters in your party, because the game is designed so that you are always taking damage, and you need to be able to deal with it, mitigate it, and overheal. There is a lot of damage in the game, but survival, you have to work on that. So don't just gather girls who can kill an elephant with 1 hit, but also don't forget the buffers with heals. From the characters focused on damage, I recommend paying attention to the following trio. Of course, our main character, the physical damage dealer, Silver Wolf, Ice Element, Clara, Physical Damage. I recommend starting the attack with the Air Element because after it, the effects of other elements are distributed to all targets. Then, cast Ice, and finally, Lightning or Fire for maximum area and strength damage. Prioritize the development of combo attacks and elemental synergy, especially their damage. There are actually many combinations in practice. This is just one example, especially since each enemy will require a different approach. Of course, depending on updates and patches, the situation may change, I warn you. So, if you have already found some combinations, sorry, correct me in the comments. And the best buffers at the time of creating this video are March 7th and Bronya. March 7th doesn't do much damage, but heals well. Bronya, she will be happy to boost shields and reduce incoming damage. By the way, you can see the attack order of the fighters and the enemy here, if necessary. Characters with the lowest speed will attack last, while the fastest will attack first. By giving a buff to a strong but slow character, you can deal a huge amount of damage first, or break through a shield and apply an elemental effect. You can also see the amount of damage a particular skill deals by simply hovering over an enemy. The basic mechanic allows you to visually determine if you can take down your target or if you should choose another. But these are not the only characters in the game. Honkai doesn't limit your choice of heroes. I have mentioned the most useful and effective ones in my opinion, but who you choose will depend on your preferences and playstyle. You can build a squad based on some secret preferences, party utility, or just the waifu meter. And so that you don't have to search too long for information, everything is detailed in the in-game menu. For example, the same skills and what they depend on, how to do increased damage or healing, and how they actually work. I've shown you the characters, but where do you get them? Let's find out. Novice tickets will definitely get you a 5-star character on your 40th try, but I recommend not worrying too much about it. Create a new account and spin the starter tickets. It's better and easier than just sitting and waiting for the 40th try. Other characters are given through elements or starting banners. Now a bit about combat. The troop has skill points, usually 3 at the beginning of the battle, and they are used as their name suggests, on skills. They are replenished during a normal attack. These skills restore a significant amount of ultimate, while regular attacks restore less. And those symbols above the enemy, that's what they're most vulnerable to, meaning you can shatter their shield and deal HP damage as well as some elemental damage. Leveling up accounts and characters is done through missions, as they provide the most experience. You also need to farm briefing and the daily AFK content, missions, also known as expeditions for those familiar with Genshin. Just send one of your characters to an unknown location and collect the rewards. And dailies? Don't worry about them. This activity is also present in the game, but separately it doesn't require much time or concentration from you. It's done very easily and in the background. And probably one of the most important places, Virtual Realm. Weekly activity with different rewards, mainly money and nephrite for spinning tickets, as well as emblems. You can spin these emblems in Hertha's shop to get different 5-star light cones. I'll tell you what these are later. Don't turn off the video. Also, don't forget to go through the Echo of War, also known as the weekly bosses. There are 3 different bosses that you need to humble and take loot from. These loot barrels are needed to level up individual characters. Where can you find out which ones and for whom? Open Tracks of Destiny and find the boss you need. It's all written here. For example, here. Light cone is an important thing and affects the character a lot. But surprise, I don't know who called it a cone, but it looks like a simple card. Every character has their own. First, leveling up, then light cone, then tracks of destiny, relics. Depending on the situation, it's either damage or defense, but this part is more important in the mid-game. In the high-end content, you need to clearly know and decide which characters you want to see in your party. Ideally even 2 parties, and only after that start studying the builds of each hero in one or another squad. If you play in Honkai, you might have noticed that our world isn't huge. It's big, yes, but you want something more massive. By the way, the developers sat down, thought, and decided to make a world balance system. As you explore the universe, balance tests will occur. Enemies will get meaner, but they will drop more materials. Sorry for the spoiler, but you'll be farming the same activities over and over again. And to understand what to farm and where, you have a separate tab. Here you can see the virtual realm I mentioned earlier, as well as the calyx, caverns, and so on. You don't need a lot of brains to understand where to farm what resource, and you won't have to search long for the answer. Just click on any resource and you will see where and how to get it. And it will even show up on the minimap. Some might say, oh, they made the game casual. But it's really convenient. No need to spend time searching for guides on the internet. Just here and now in a few clicks, find out everything you need. And you probably noticed that we have relics in the equipment. I don't recommend thinking about them until you reach level 40. Only after level 40 can you try to farm relics, otherwise you will waste a lot of time and get nothing, because guaranteed 5-star relics only drop after level 60. Think of everything above as a basic set of knowledge you need to know at the beginning of the game and in the first few hours to figure out where, what, and when to press. By simply doing dailies, going through the story, and systematically entering the game every day, you can quickly level up your account to high ranks in a few weeks. If you do not systemize your actions and just focus on low-level farming, you run the risk of dragging out your game development for months. So if you're familiar with games of this genre like Raid Shadow Legends, you intuitively understand what to do and how to move through the progression to achieve something. And if you're unlucky with characters at the beginning of the game due to beginner's banners, re-roll your account. Remember, this is when you play with low-star heroes. Remember and think that if you created a new account now, you would have at least one high-ranked legendary waifu, not the trash that currently occupies a slot in the party. So the registration link is waiting for you in the description. Go there, register, download the game, and like me. Subscribe to the channel, and that's all from me. Good luck, and bye!